Hey man, it's Phil X, and you're watching Guitar Tales with Dave Cohen. And Guitar Tales, guitar tales. Like, what else do you need, right? Guitar. We're geeks, nerds, gear, inspirations, positive vibes. Look out.
And welcome to a truly special edition of Guitar Tales. My name is Dave Cohen. And before we get to this really, really special show, I always want to thank our sponsor. Why don't you bring that in, Scott, right now? There we go. Confections of a Rock Star. If you go to Asbury Park, you have to check them out over there. Great food, great people, all based in rock and roll. And they're so nice there. And I always like to say, if you have a pooch, and I do, there you go. You got your cupcakes. Great place. Check it out right in Asbury Park. Thank you so much for being our sponsor. What a great fit for our show. And now, without further ado, Scott, I want to bring you in here, and you're going to talk about just this amazing show that we've been really working on, I think, since maybe 2019 or early 2020, right before COVID. And we're thrilled and honored to have our guest.
Yeah,
how are you, Mr. Scott?
Good morning, or good evening, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It depends when you're watching the stream, right? Does it really
That's
matter
right.
what time it is
That's
anymore?
right.
It's not the Tonight Show, gives a shit. Anyway, so yeah, we've been trying to get Mark.
Wait, hang on. Tonight's show was live on tape too. They weren't live.
That's true. Yeah,
I used to go to their tapings all the time.
We wanted to have Mark on the show way back. We were at Riverview Studios. He would have had to take the trip into Bordentown, but now with the magic of the World Wide Web, we can bring him in all the way from New Jersey. I think that's where he is tonight.
Yeah.
Into New Jersey. But yeah, I'm really excited to have Mark on. I know he's got great stories. He's got a hell of a career. As you know, I'm an artist and a photographer and a painter and a guitar player and a magician and whatever else I am. So I'm really eager to talk to him about all the things that are going on. So how about we just jump right in?
Absolutely.
And welcome tonight's guest, Mark Weiss guy. And there he is.
Guys, nice seeing you. Thanks. It's been a long time coming, so I'm glad we got it together and able to have a chat.
Finally.
Absolutely. You know, you come to the fore with such amazing credentials. I was talking to Scott before you were on, and we thought the show would be a lot shorter if we just had a list of who you haven't photographed.
Yeah. He's probably photographed everybody we've had on the show. I know he's photographed Ace. I know he's photographed Rudy Sarzo, who we had on last week.
Bumblefoot, maybe?
Ron Bumblefoot, I would imagine. Yeah. Who knows?
Of course. Yeah, he's a good friend. He's a Jersey guy too. We go and hang every once in a while.
We're all Jersey guys. That's
we are.
In the early beginnings of the show, when we had to go to the studio, we were only getting people that could drive to Bordentown, New Jersey, right? So that kind of limited our prospects. And then after COVID hit and we stopped doing the studio shows, we went internet-wise, we started bringing people in from all over the world. And our list of guests has really grown. And so I'm glad you're here and you're in your habitat there with all your stuff behind you. You got tons of gold records and tchotchkes from all over the place. Tchotchkes, is that a Jewish word, Dave?
Oh, it damn right is.
Okay, good. I want to make sure. I grew up in Mattawan. I know a little bit of Yiddish, even though I'm an Italian guy. Dave and I have been friends since we went to high school together about 4 years
ago. No, it's before high school.
Oh, yeah, middle school.
Yeah.
When we were Weblos.
That's right. We were Weeblos.
Weeblos. That's even a worse name.
Now, Mark, you're a Mattawan guy, right?
I was a Weeblo. I thought it was Weblo, but you know.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Both names are embarrassing.
I lived in Lake Ridge in Mattawan, New Jersey.
Oh, okay. I know Lake Ridge very well.
I went to Cedar Ridge High School. Now it's called Madison, I think. But I went to Cedar Ridge. That's where I saw my pictures out of my high school locker when I was 16, 17.
I had friends over in Lake Ridge. And our vice president's husband was from Lake Ridge. I went to Beaver School. I know that. He went to Temple Shalom with me. I didn't know him, but I
got bar mitzvah at Temple Shalom.
Me too. Yeah, he would drink. he, he would be pretty inebriated at the bar mitzvahs. Did you have that experience?
I don't remember that, but
Oh man,
maybe.
he threw his arm around me and tried to pressure me to go to further Hebrew school afterwards, and he had a pretty
You're right.
strong arm.
Right. Right.
He also married me. We shipped him out to
Oh,
Bucks County.
yeah, me too. Me too.
Oh really? There you
Yeah.
go. Yep. And his daughters went to Mattawan High School. I think they did, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they did.
I don't know.
But
Yeah.
I was also, when I was a really little kid, I was at Temple Beth Am over in Old Bridge because I was on Throckmorton Court. So
Right.
if I had stayed there, I would have been at Cedar Ridge High School. But that's
Mhm.
almost 10 years ago for both of us. So we can we can bring ourselves to the present.
Feels like a millennium ago.
Yeah. So
But Mark got an early start in this whole photography thing. I mean, where did this all begin? You didn't start shooting rock stars right away, but I know you were taking photographs like when you were in your teens. Because
Yeah.
some of the
Well,
most iconic
yeah,
early
yeah. I mean, I started taking pictures after I got my first camera by mowing some guy's lawn. I knocked on his door, and I said, "Do you need your lawn mowed?" Because it was like really long, and he's like, "No, I do it myself." And I that way, and he kind of like giggled and came back like sarcastic little kid. I was only 12, and
wow.
he came back. He came back with his camera and said, "If you mow my lawn for the season, I'll give you this camera, this Bell and Howell Canon camera that I have hanging on my mannequin
Wow.
in the."
You still have it. Wow.
Was that a format camera?
It was just a 35 millimeter. You
Oh,
crank
okay.
it, one
Yep.
frame at a
Okay.
time. And
Yeah.
I just thought I was gonna like bring it to the pawn shop down the road and make a couple $100 out of it.
Right.
A couple months later, after I got I got the camera, I had a motorcycle accident with my friend, head-on collision. I like ended up in the hospital for the summer, and I ended up like kind of bedridden for the whole summer. And I had this camera that I was going to bring to the pawn shop, just sitting on the shelf, looking at me. So I'm like looking at it for a couple months. I was really like I got in a bad accident. So then I finally grabbed it, get working at it, and I'm cranking it and I'm opening it up and, trying to do a little research on it. And when I got better, I went and saw my middle school teacher that had a photography class. And I told him I got this camera and I want to, maybe I want to take some photos. So he kind of showed me how to develop film. I went into this dark room, which I thought was very cool. This was during like when they had the the space race was going on. This is like in the late 60s, early 70s.
Okay.
And we're happening, man on the moon, the whole thing. So it kind of reminded me of like a little space capsule, when you go in the cylinder door, turn it around, you go in, it's like red lights and then there's timers and everything.
Very cool.
And then you put this one piece of paper in and it turns into, so that's where I got my start. I did that for about a year till I got bored of shooting my dog and my brother and, and family events. And then I got the bug after I went to my first concert in 1974, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young at Roosevelt Stadium, the same day that Nixon resigned and David Crosby announced it. So it was kind of a moment where, it was like kind of joined everybody. My friend's parents' kids had a camera dangling around his neck, and he happened to pass us after 100,000 people in there, and he was going in, had this camera. I said, "Where are you going?" He's like, "I'm going to the stage to take pictures." So about a month later, when I went to to his house with my parents, he had the pictures hanging up on after he developed them, and he had them hanging up. In his
and so you immediately like, oh, that's cool. Then you could start to say, that seems like fun.
So then the next time I went to a concert was I think it was Elton John on Thanksgiving. I stuck the camera in for the first time, that camera that I got from mowing lawn, and I got some not great pictures, but I actually put the picture in the book, in The Decade That Rocked. So it kind of shows like I was far away and I kind of knew I had to get closer, but I started learning as I did. And that's how. So
the point is you're sort of a self-taught photographer, I guess, in many ways, right?
Yeah.
A lot of artists, they have it in their DNA. They could see the photograph before it's even taken. they could feel how it's got to be cropped and everything. And then with digital, it's a whole different story. But back in those days, you really had to get the picture right off the bat, or you had to mess around with manually doing it in the darkroom, which was a real pain in the neck in those days.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. Like, you didn't know if you got it. You had to develop the picture. You don't see it away.
Not for a few days or even a week, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, unless you brought it to the local photomat and they lost your pictures on you. So you never took that chance to have someone else develop your film. I would imagine maybe in the beginning you were developing your own stuff.
Right. Well, black and white I always did, except color I would send out to the lab. But
color's hard. I had a dark room in the mid to late 70s. In my bedroom, I actually had one. But I couldn't afford a Bessler enlarger, so I got a Bessler lens on a Sears enlarger. So that was all I could pull off.
Is there anything Sears did not sell? How the hell did they go out of business?
Yeah, it's true.
They had guns and cameras and cars and houses you could buy at Sears. What the hell happened?
I know. So you do that. You're doing that in high school, right? And you're developing all your own stuff if it's black and white, right? Yeah.
No, I would at first I would just go to concerts and I show the people in my class, like, check it out, look what I did, like, whoa, that's, and then people wanted to buy them, so I said, all right. So I started coming into the high school the next day after a concert, and I would sell them for $1 a piece out of my high school locker, and I kind of got a name for myself. I was kind of like a shy kid. My brother had some health issues, mental health issues. He was when I was like 14, he was 16. He was paranoid schizophrenic, and he was in and out of psychiatric places. And all the attention went to my brother. So my parents, I didn't want to be a burden to them. So I would just be the quiet. I ended up, kind of just retreating and not being, just, I felt sorry for my parents for dealing with this. And so I didn't get the attention from my parents. So I ended up getting it through my photographs. And I kind of just recently figured out why I still like to, take pictures. And even with new bands, doesn't have to be big arena bands. I just like taking photos. I know how to do that pretty good. And I like to show that. And I like to get feedback and make friends that way. And
that's beautiful.
Do you think you have an eye for future talent or future big celebrity stars that you shot them when they were nobodies, let's say, with the eye that maybe you had a good ear and an eye for talent in the rock world?
Well, I can see like charisma, in an artist, that's what and a lot of those bands in the 80s that I shot, let's face it, like they were very charismatic, they
bigger than life. Yeah.
They were part of the, the format, when the way they dressed, the way they looked, music. And I liked it because it was all came from the 70s, like, from Bowie, Zeppelin, Aerosmith, Kiss, they all kind of morphed into the 80s scene, with Judas Priest and Black Sabbath. And then they all kind of took from the bands that I liked, and the bands that I ended up shooting and becoming arena bands like the same bands that I liked, because we were, we were from the same cloth, and it made it easy to be friends with them and to kind of, see what I thought looked cool, because I always thought those bands that I just mentioned had a cool image and vibe. I mean, I liked that. I wasn't crazy about the Grateful Dead or Bruce Springsteen or any of the bands that were just like kind of, I gravitated towards more of the glam rock bands in the 70s, and those glam rock, it's funny because the glam rock bands from the 70s were accepted, and then when the 80s bands became glam rock, they almost got shunned because of the hair and everything. I mean, it was excess. I mean, everyone took it a little further on it, but let's face it, a lot of the bands from the 70s, like the Sweet and New York Dolls and David Bowie, I mean, they were totally glammed out,
Absolutely, they were, yeah. And do you think it was that common ground that you guys had? Because I would imagine to get people comfortable for you to really photograph them in sort of the right way, whatever that may mean, they have to you have to get their trust. And is it because of that common ground that I think they would eventually feel comfortable with you?
Well, yeah, that's it. They trust you. I mean, I got thrown into. I mean, I was fortunate enough to get a good break and start working for Circus Magazine in the late '70s as still a teenager and doing assignments for Van Halen, and kind of grew with them a little bit. But then got big assignments in the very early '80s with like Ozzy, and they just saw this kid, and they kind of, I guess they take to people want to be around people that they think they want to be around. It makes them do their job better. It makes them, they get more out of it. So I was just not a squeaky wheel. I was just very like kind of, want to be a fly on the wall for me to shoot these big artists, Judas Priest, Ozzy, all these bands that were already pretty big. And they gave me the respect because I did work for Circus Magazine as a staff photographer, and they wanted to be in the magazine. So
that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Did they have the Circus have their own studios that you were able to use to shoot, or did you bring them to another studio?
No, I would pretty much. I didn't have a studio at that time when I first started doing my cover shoots, so I would bring the studio to the artist. So when I did my first shot Ozzy in 1981, I would bring background with me and studio lights and set it up in there. And it appeared that I had a studio. In '83, I got my first studio in New York, and then the bands would come to me. And then it depends. It'd be backstage. I'd set it up anywhere, wherever I had to do it.
Yeah, there's a lot of great iconic backstage shots and live shots too, of the bands you've done over the years, and studio shots, and they all have their different unique flavor. Some of them are very, very ingenious. And you set those up. Like, how the hell did you get Ozzy in a rabbit costume?
That was kind of an accident. And the story behind that one was I was actually doing a photo shoot for Faces magazine, which is the new magazine in '83. And they just released Diary of a Madman. And we thought it would be cute to do a takeoff of Diary of a Mad Housewife. So
I love it.
So we're going to dress them up like a housewife, which is what we did. The
ironing board and everything, yeah.
The ironing board, and he ironed Amy, and that's how that was that. But so he came to that photo studio, my photo studio in New York, and he walked in with Sharon and the baby Amy, and said, "What's that over there, Mark?" And I looked over it, and I shared a studio with a commercial photographer, and I looked over there for the first time, and because I didn't even pay attention to it, and it was like a trestle, for flowers for like an Easter scene, and there was this bunny outfit, and I saw it there, and this guy Richard Roy was the photographer, and I just assumed it was his, and he had some kind of silly setup, and so Ozzy looked at it and looked at Sharon and goes, "What's that?" And he looked at me, "What's that for?" I go, what do you mean? I looked, and I said, "That's the photo shoot. That's what we're doing." And he looked at Sharon. He was like, Sharon, like, and she was like, "All right, have fun, boys." And I looked at Sharon. I was like, can I do that? And she goes, "Have fun." And then we went over there. Ozzy was kind of like, couldn't believe he had to do this photo shoot in a bunny outfit. Then once I got him to put it on. I thought he would just like not do it. Once he had it on, he just started hopping around and getting in character. And after I did the shoot, we did the other shots and we did all that, but I didn't show him the pictures because it's like, I can't do anything with these photos. They'll kill me.
Wow.
It's like, I put the Prince of Darkness bunny outfit in 1983 at the peak of his solo success.
Yeah, right.
So I pretty much just put it in the archives, and probably about 20 years later, I pulled it out and I came across it. I forgot all about it. I didn't even show it to Sharon or Ozzy. I don't even know if Sharon even knew I even took them. And I sent it to her on Easter as a joke, and she posted it. So the Easter bunny, the Ozzy bunny, was out of the closet and started like hopping around every year on Easter. And
that's great.
Last year it was like I don't know, 50 million likes or whatever. Because,
Right.
you know, just every year
It's
it's like
hysterical.
millions more.
But I always
So-
thought to myself, how the hell? I mean, listen, I know there were a lot of drugs around back then, but maybe not that many drugs you can get the Prince of Darkness in a bunny suit.
That
And
is
then we
absolutely
started,
fantastic.
you know, we started doing a lot of crazy shoots. Like, you know, he shaved his head, and we got him coming out of a cake, and we put like, you know, Mickey Mouse ears on him, like with a balloon. We just did a lot of crazy different shoots, you know, and we just had fun.
And you've done some massive, like, iconic album covers over the years too. Never mind the pictures, but just to get album. Who was your first album cover that you were actually that they
It
actually
was,
used your photographs for?
yeah, it was Stay Hungry from Twisted Sister, and that was the
Okay.
big one. Yeah, once
Yeah,
that
that's a
came
huge
out,
one.
you know, the record company they figured they wanted a rock photographer to do it, and I think the management wanted, you know, looked at my photo credits in the magazines, and next thing you know, I'm getting a call from management saying they want you to do the cover. And I
Wow.
just found out later that Dee and the band, they thought I was like a seasoned photographer where I did a lot of album covers under my belt. They didn't know it was my first album cover. You know, they
Wow.
probably wouldn't even they probably would have said, no, we don't want to use this guy. I mean, you know, does good photos for circus and all that, but this is a concept album, and
Right.
I
Yeah.
built that set in my studio. So that was a very you know, they had a specific idea, and yeah, we had to follow. You know, it's like I didn't really know what I was doing. My father was in home construction, so he helped me out.
Oh, that's
And
pretty cool.
yeah, so we built this set, and it's got some fake rats and some. And I got that big bone, you know, that was you know, went to the deli. I said, "How much is that bone?" They said, "You could have it." And so the rest is history. Yeah.
But people don't realize that, you know, album covers were a really big deal back then. If you're not old enough to remember, like, album covers were,
That was
you
so
know,
important.
oh my God. So
Yeah.
you either went the artsy fartsy direction where it was like a Yes album cover, right?
Yeah.
Where all that crazy, you know, drawing and
Well,
art, and then the photograph way to go,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So it was like the
Right.
two schools.
They
And then
were.
you had
Yeah.
fold out records, you know, pictures inside, outside, on the back, on the front. So it was like a big deal. Now it's like, yeah, you stream it and
Yeah.
the picture's just freaking big.
News of the world. That fold out.
Well, now
Yeah.
there's, you know, obviously, you know, now the album covers are a main revenue for a lot of these artists. I actually just did an album cover shoot with a band called The Dictators with Keith Roth from Sirius Radio, and he's in a band called Frankenstein 3000. They just we are releasing an album, and I just kind of, with my girlfriend, she art directed it, and I did the photos for it. And it's a 12-inch, so it was fun working and doing it and designing it and
Yeah.
having that bit of creativity in there.
Yeah,
So
the vinyl coming
is.
back, it's making a little bit of a resurgence, but it's, you know, it's not like what it used to be, but it's
No.
nice that it's coming back.
It
a little
is.
bit.
Yeah.
And what else happens to those album covers digitally? Like when you do that great work, when there's a release of a piece of a vinyl release, then what happens to your artwork? What else can they do with it in terms of their promotion?
Well, it's whatever image it is, it goes on with whatever they're streaming or
Yeah.
CD book. Sometimes they're even doing cassettes.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah, some
great.
are. But you know, it's pretty much the image that they will use for whatever it is. So it's still they still call it the cover image. So whether it's on a streaming platform, you know, when Sirius Radio plays the album, that photo pops up
Right,
on
it
there.
shows up.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So it's found a new life, even if it's a little different than it used to be, which is great.
Art and photography is everywhere. If you look for it, it's like music, you know. It's just,
Yeah, it is.
I'm aware of it enough. Some people wouldn't be. But I'll say, oh, that's a cool little song in the background while Mike Rowe is digging a hole on Dirty Jobs.
Right.
or just graphics, be it on a record or on the internet or website design. Is your girlfriend worked on the website design for the magazine we're going to talk about tonight?
Oh yeah, she actually, if it wasn't for her, there wouldn't be a rock magazine. She put it together with in 3 days because we were going on the Monsters of Rock cruise, and I was doing a book signing, but I've done them already, and then we just decided to I came up with the name Rocked, Rusked, kind of a takeoff of my book, The Decade That Rocked, and I just liked the name. So like, we got to start a magazine, and it was like a week before the cruise, and I found a local publisher or a local printer to print them if we could. They said they could print 100 if we get it by, it's like 4 days. So Mikkel, I started feeding her photographs, and she started laying it out and making it, kind of taking a little bit from Circus, Hit Parader, Cream, and doing the pinups, doing the centerfold.
It has this vintage look to it, which I love.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, so we made it on the cruise, and we sold out of the 100, and we're gonna take it to the next level now. So now we're getting ready to do another one. I shot. So this one, there was a lot of bands, like it was like Faster Pussycat, Bruce Dickinson, Steve Harris was there from Iron Maiden, Ace Frehley, Winger, a lot of the 80s bands. So what I did was I put them all on the cover, and then we did pinups of all the bands that were there from back in the day. In the 80s.
Oh, that looks fantastic.
So, Mark, where do you get this magazine? Is this something you have to order online for the website?
Yeah, you can get it online at rockedmag.com. And each one has like a little story about it. So it's a good startup for the kids that are just kind of learning about 80s rock. It's almost like that, but then you can take your centerfold.
Oh, there's our guy. Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that brings back a lot of memories seeing a magazine like that.
Yeah, I love that.
So the next issue, we're going to feature a lot of the bands that I've shot. Like this past year, I shot the Rolling Stones. I did Joan Jett, Pat Benatar. So our tagline is where the past is present. And
I love that. Yeah.
Have past photos, and we're going to have new photos, and we're going to post old interviews from back in the day, and we're going to, get some new interviews too. So it's just going to be a little bit of a mix, and it's not going to be monthly. It's going to be whenever. But really, the goal is to have this magazine in print because, it's our flagship. It's our flagship model. It's always nice to have one. It's collectible. But we're going to build on the social media platform and make that more. With print, you can have 100 pages, 50 pages, but when you have online, you can really just pump in
whatever you want. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're looking for photographers and journalists that want to contribute and have a platform for this. So I've mentored a handful of photographers that are going to be contributors, but we're going to be looking for photographers, and we're going to give them their own rocked scene page. So on the website, so they can shoot whoever they want. I mean, I'll be the editor, so I'll decide what the best photos and just put in the very best photos. Not put it like 50 photos of one band. You put 10 up, and we'll do it in format of centerfold and put the rock logo out, and then you can, for subscription, you can download it. So there's a whole bunch of ideas we're going to be doing. And
I got a lot of pictures of the Smoking Jackets. My band, the Smoking Jackets, with Tom Janarone. I know you know Tommy. I know that you were at Bar A signing books, and I wanted to come by and say hello. And of course, work got right. We have a lot of mutual friends.
How do people find you if they want to get involved?
Just go to rockmag.com, and there's an email address, so you can just email us. And Mikkel did all the website development. That's her master on that. She has a ballet bar company called Custom Bars, and she has a manufacturing plant, and she developed a website 13 years ago where it's all driven from the website. So she won awards for her website. She's really talented.
It's really good looking.
Yeah, so now I'm fortunate enough to have her. We teamed up. It's my girlfriend. She lives with me, and we do everything together. So why not do this rock venture together? She's from Israel, so she's not really. She doesn't know most of the bands that I shot because not a lot of them even went to Israel, and
right,
he is learned to like them. Like she gave it a chance. Because. She didn't have a choice, but she loves the guys, all my friends. It's like we're always making new friends, and it's just fun. We love doing it, and we're hoping to monetize it, of course. But for now, it's a passion project, and we're going to take it to the next level. And we're going to be I'm actually going to be doing another photo workshop that I did a couple of years ago it was at Monsters on the Mountain in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And now it's called Music. Now it's called Music on the Mountain. And Joan Jett's headlining, 30 Day Special, Tesla. There's about 30 bands. It's August 24th, 5th, and 6th, I believe, or 23rd, 4th, and 5th. And we're going to do the one workshop on the Saturday, 10 spots only. I did it 2 years ago. And if you go on Mark Weiss Photography Workshop, or if you go to rockmag.com, you'll see it on there. And there's content on my Facebook of all the shoots that we did on the first workshop. So
there we go.
Perfect.
Look at that, Scott. By the way, Scott does all these great graphics for us. He's so good. He's so good.
We have to talk about the book. We got to talk about the fabulous book, The Decade That Rocked. I mean, it's an absolute Bible of 80s rock, and that golden age. It was my golden age anyway, the 1970s to 1980s. And the pictures that the pictures that Mark took are just iconic. You've seen them everywhere. Which is a whole other thing I wanted to talk about. Just you get upset when you see your pictures everywhere and you're not really getting credit for it. People, you could lift the picture from anything and put it anywhere you want.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I get upset when they make T-shirts and then I got to get my lawyers after them and all. But
yeah, that's not good.
I don't like when they because I watermark most of the photos, or they are now they've been watermarked, but there's still some out there. I don't like when the fan cuts out the watermark or crops it. That's that they shouldn't do, and they should tag you whenever. So when they do that, that's cool. But a lot of times they're used in a lot of people use them in podcasts, and you can't go after everyone, and it is what it is. But as long as they mention
baby, if you're anything like me, any piece of art you do, whether it be music, art, or photography, or a picture, I mean, that's your baby, that's your work, and you're very connected to it. And I know I'd be upset if somebody was using my pictures for any way they wanted to.
Yeah, well, it's a compliment too.
That's true. That's very true.
Here's a little. I got the website loaded up here, so you got really cool. You could buy the book from the website. We have the URL code next to David's head there all day. You could just take the URL, the QR code shot of that. Got little stuff from our friend Eddie Trunk, and there's Dee Schneider putting on makeup.
Shot. Yeah,
that's fantastic. Yeah,
I love that shot.
Iconic pictures, and it's a great book. It's a great gift. You find it just about any place now, but I think if you go to the decadethatrocked.com, you could pick up your copy there, and then
and also if you get it from me, I'll sign it to personalize it, and we have different bundles. I have cool bags. I throw in postcards. So yeah, I would say.
So go to this right here. See, there's the code right there.
Wait, I got a bigger one. Hold on, watch that. Boom.
There we go. Wait, I can't do it. I'm dyslexic. There we go.
Well, the point is, you can get it. It's a fantastic book.
Yeah, it's special.
So shooting all these rock stars of yours, any massive mishaps like, I don't know, somebody OD'd at the studio, or you lost your film, or so, I know that as a gigging musician, there's always a horror show gig. that you know something terrible happened over the years? Does anything come to mind?
Yeah, one thing, and I do mention it in the book, but I'll tell you the story. So I was shooting Poison in Hollywood, and I spent all day with them, and in the studio in front of this really cool car, you know, like a hot rod. And after I was done, I asked my friend to meet me at Johnny Rockets over in Melrose. And so we met, we parked the car, and he was going to take me to the airport afterwards because I had a flight that like maybe a few hours later.
Right.
And then I had the film with me, and I was like, what's going to be safer, with me or in the car? And I had the equipment in the car, but the film is what I really cared about. You know what I mean? Like, let them take my cameras, but don't take the film. And I just, for some reason, I opted to take the bag with me to Johnny Rockets. And as we got out, the car parked. It was busy. It was daylight. The car stopped in front. A couple guys got out. Another car, like a couple guys got out of another car, and next thing you know, we're surrounded by like 6 guys and with guns.
Wow.
And you know, we got out of a really nice car. We were dressed nice, I guess, and you know, they started pistol whipping my friend, and I was a little younger, and he's like, you know, give me your money or give me your wallet. I you know, just take whatever you want. Meanwhile, they took my plane ticket, my wallet, and they took the bag of film with all the film in it. So they left. I was like, you know, he was on the ground. The cops came, and we did the whole thing. We made a report. I told them, I said, look, they got my film. What can we do? So the police said you should put a reward and put it out to the sanitation people. So if they get, because they said they probably saw it, they saw it was just film, and they probably threw it in one of those big, you know, dumpsters. Well, they never found it, you know. So I was really, I called Brett up after I told him what happened, and I said, I'm sorry. He goes, what do you mean? You know, are you okay? You know, I said, yeah, I'm okay. My friend's not, but you know, I'm okay.
Wow.
So they got me another plane ticket. You know, I stayed over, and then that was it. And I thought I'd never hear from them again. But I mean, I did one of their first photo shoots back in '86, and we became friends since. And I photographed all their video shoots, and you know, I got them in a lot of the magazines early in the day. So we had a good relationship. But I thought, like, all right, they just spent a whole day with me taking some great killer photos. And this is, I don't know what it's going to be used for, but it was Flesh and Blood was the next record. And we shot them, and they were very glammed out during that shoot. And then I got a call like 6 months later from them saying, hey, we want you to do the back cover. We want to do a very like more not you know, no hairspray, you know, just glammy, very like, no glammy, and we want you to come up and do it. So I went up they flew me to Vancouver, and we did the shoot, just street clothes, and that was like the sign of the times. Then this was after Guns N' Roses, '89. Everyone was kind of wearing jeans again, and
starting to calm down a little bit on the big hair and makeup stuff.
Yeah. So that it's like that shoot was almost, you know, in a way it's good that it didn't come out because they weren't pursuing that image anymore, and those pictures would have like it might have hurt them really.
It might have been a few steps back for them.
Yeah. So in hindsight, it worked out, and
Did your friend come out okay? Was he okay after all that?
Yeah, he was all right. Yeah,
pretty traumatizing. My goodness.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Pistol whip. That's bad. Wow. Yeah.
My sister spent a whole day shooting Bon Jovi on a rooftop in Red Bank, and then she used to color her photographs in those days. She used to work for Dorns and everything. And
wait,
you probably know my sister. There's Barbara Engel.
Oh, Barbara, I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she says she knows you. Anyway, so she spent a whole day shooting the band, and then she got a call later that said, John cut his hair. We don't need your pictures. And that was the end of that. Right. She was so pissed. But I have the original shots hanging in my studio. The one of a kind.
That's pretty cool.
But
And
she
then
was,
you said Tico took care of her, right?
yeah, because Tico's a friend of the family, so he did like a photo gallery thing for her, and she got her money back. But she never got the money from John Spiegel, so she's kind of upset.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a
listen, we've
shame.
all been beaten out of money, but again, it's
Well,
when
that
it's
was a
when it's
big, that was
art,
a big break.
you know,
That
this
was a
is
Yeah.
big
your art,
break.
this is your passion, and then it didn't happen, but that's all right.
Yeah.
She's still happy.
That's right.
I take pictures of dogs and cars. That's all I'm doing. So, Mark, where you heading next? Are you got another big shoot coming up? You doing a big book signing? What's happening?
Well, we're doing the Music on the Mountain at Gatlinburg. You can still
Yeah.
get
Let's talk
tickets.
about that's in
30th
August.
special with a bunch of bands, 30 bands. It's called the Music on the Mountain, and that's in about a month. My son's getting married in a few weeks. My daughter just got married.
Congrats.
So that's been busy, and I'm looking forward just kind of trying to just chill a little bit this month, and then there's some things going on that I'll be talking about soon, where I'm going to be hosting a streaming show for this big company that's pretty cool. I can't really talk about it yet.
I understand.
But
Right.
Well, when it happens, we'll promote the hell out of it. We don't care.
Yeah.
We love
I'm going to be
promoting
I'm going to be a host on a show where I interview rock stars about a certain thing.
Nice.
And then in September, I have an event with Billy Morrison. End of September, we're doing an art gallery. Billy Morrison is Billy Idol's second guitar player, and
Okay.
with Steve Stevens. He's been with him for 15 years, and he also did the song with Ozzy. Crack Cocaine, that one song.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
Yep.
I'm familiar
And
with it.
Yep.
yeah, so he did that, and he's got a solo album called The Morrison Project. And he's an artist, and he took my photographs. He did most of them, and he kind of added his little art to it, and we're gonna have a combined show together. And
that's fantastic.
September in LA
That's great.
There's still hope for us artists. AI hasn't put us out of business yet.
Not yet.
Right.
They won't. They won't. Send us a link when that happens, and we'll promote it here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Well, what do you think, Dave? That was a pretty cool show.
Oh, it was, and it flew. 50 minutes or so. It feels like 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
We have
Absolutely.
new merch in our store. Speaking of art, we have we decided to put some other art on our mugs and stuff because it's nice it says Guitar Tales, but maybe it should have something else on there. So we have some new shirts and new mugs and stuff. So you can check that out. You can hit that QR code up there. We have the Decade That Rocked.
That's
The
right.
QR code for that, and the new Rocked magazine, which I absolutely love. I'm going to get a copy for myself.
Right.
And look through that. And it was really great having you on. I'll tell my sister you said hello.
Yes.
And I can't believe we haven't run into each other in all these years. We have so many friends in common. But here you are. So we come as guests, leave as friends, right, Dave?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So have a great night, and thank you so much. I'll say that.
Do you guys play guitars or instruments? Have a band together or anything like that? You do? What do you play?
Scott and I were so Scott is a serious musician. He's a gigging musician. I'm a garage guitar player, but I've had bands and had a band in Mattawan. I had a punk band in Mattawan. You might have heard of called Bloody Smegma back in the day.
I love how Bloody Smegma gets a mention on the show just about every 3 shows.
I can't not.
Have you heard of the Bloody Stools?
Who's that?
The Bloody Stools.
No, I never heard of them. No, that's a great name.
Rachel Boland was involved in that one. It's pretty good band, actually. It's a punk band from the 90s.
Yeah.
But
we were not good. We were not good. But they did, after I left, they put out a couple of EPs. They became like a semi-real band. Mm-hmm. But Scott and I were in a band together in high school. We were in a band called The Cure before The Cure existed. We actually came up with that name.
Yeah. I designed the logo and everything. It was really great.
Yeah, we came up with that.
The U and Cure had a little thermometer hanging out of it. That was what I drew, and we couldn't use it, so that was that. Now I'm with the Smoking Jackets with Tom Janner on drums. You know Tommy, and I'm playing Saturday actually at River Rock,
which is a great
Saturday.
venue.
Yeah, and we just did the Long Branch gig, and Dave came to that, threw tomatoes at me. I
throw tomatoes
I lost
at
the
you.
tooth. Thank God I didn't swallow it. I just got to put back in today.
Well, let me know when you're playing in the area.
Yes, sir. I would love to see you in person. You could take pictures of me.
There you go.
I play kazoo and all kinds of stuff. And I took a page out of Steve Stevens' book. I used the toy ray gun for Rebel Yell, and I'm working on a guitar that smokes and shoots fire now for Halloween.
Really?
Yeah,
Scott's a very gifted guitar player. He's very good. Yeah.
So I'm trying some new gimmicks and stuff. So why don't we have Bumblefoot take us out again? Because I love his version of Star Wars. That's the theme to Star Wars. And we'll see you guys next time. We got some great shows lined up.
Absolutely. Well, have a great night, everyone. And thank you again.
We have a UK show coming up. We're doing Wednesday.
3 days. 2 days. Yeah.
From Liverpool.
That's right.
Liverpool. I wonder if anybody else was from Liverpool comes to mind. I don't know. Beatles, maybe. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
All right. Take care. Have a good
and you're watching Guitar Time.